Morning everyone. This is take two. I was about 30 seconds from the end of finishing this recording and my computer decided to have a bit of a hissy fit, so trying again. And this time will probably be better. Might even be shorter, who can tell. It's a beautiful sunny day, almost. Clouds arriving, 54 degrees north in York. Today is the 5th of May. Yesterday was the 4th of May. It was International Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you, if that means anything. I didn't do anything yesterday, but I've got a Star Wars t-shirt on today, so I thought I'd show you what I'm wearing. Hey! Jawas. We like Jawas in our house. That's my Jawa. You will also have noticed that I look a little bit like some kind of eccentric teacher person. I have 3 pairs of glasses, and I generally know where at least one of them is at any given time. So I bought myself some slightly ethno-bongo African style little glasses string, so I can just do this, and then I can do this again without going. I won't use the right language that I use at home most of the time when I'm looking for my glasses, but anyway, there you are. Things you didn't need to know about me, but now you do. This morning we discovered that the Isle of Wight will be the first place later on this week, I think, where residents will be asked to download and to start using a tracking app, an NHS COVID-19 tracking app, which for the purposes of trying to control the spread of the coronavirus, people's phones will need to be with them all the time, and they'll need to have the location services on, and they will frankly be tracked to within the nearest few feet of their lives. So that if they've come into contact with someone who is later confirmed to have coronavirus, they can get an anonymous text message that tells them to go and get checked. And it all sounds very benign, and it all sounds very sensible. But it does raise some interesting questions about the invasiveness of technology. And whether we're about to step into the realms of becoming a nation amongst other nations that has the government on a live feed able to say exactly where each one of us is, and that our liberty to be outside of our houses and walking around and interacting, whatever the rules are about that, are predicated upon or dependent upon our willingness to be located in that way from a distance all the time. Now, for those who are on the conspiracy theory end of interpreters of politics and other events, it sounds like Big Brother on an industrial scale, and that even beyond that our puppet government being controlled by some great mysterious universal, or at least sort of global force for dominance and control is succumbing to that kind of loss of freedom. I think for many of us, slightly more sensibly, the real concern that our data is being harvested, our privacy is being intruded upon, and we are not going to be able to be anonymous anywhere anymore for at least some time. Now, maybe that's for the greater good. We go back to what I said a little while ago about in exploring ethics and the impossible decisions some people have to make on our behalf. Maybe the utilitarian ideal of doing together what is of most value to the most people, of most benefit to the greater good, the greater number, it makes that a sensible thing to do. At the same time, though, isn't it going to be massively valuable to our government, for good or ill, to fund the NHS or whatever our government decides to do with the money, to, whether they're honest about it or not, I don't know, have reams of data about us that are a hugely valuable commodity to many, 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 many people and organizations. I spend an inordinate amount of time on a regular basis when software updates on my computer or my phone, or I try a new app or something, going through all of the settings to untick all of the boxes that say, we just assume that you want us to know everything about you, so we'll find out where you go and what you had for lunch, and we'll collect data about how you use this app. Organizations like Facebook are even more rapacious. you have to click through quite a few levels of the settings and know what you're looking for, to unclick the little box that says that Facebook assumes the right to monitor all of your internet activity outside of the Facebook app. Anything you do on any platform, Facebook can watch it, can keep the data, can use it for their own purposes, even if you're not on Facebook. If you didn't know that was the case, do a bit of Googling, go and find the settings and tell them they're not allowed, as much as you want to know where you are or what you bought. Of course, they'll say to you, you realize that your experience isn't going to be quite so unique and special because you're not letting us target you. I mean, it's a sinister word, isn't it? Target you with appropriate advertising and content. We think we know what you like. We think we know what you want to see. So we'll just keep feeding you the things that we've decided are good for you or aligned with your interests. No, thank you. If I'd eaten as many cookies as I've had to agree to have sitting on my computers and my phones, frankly, I'd have type 1 diabetes, and I'd be, I might even be dead. But there you are. It's invasive. It's invasive. I've got a smart bicycle computer that I take with me. It's this. It's called a Hammerhead Karoo. I bought it in, I'm a little ashamed to say, the kind of Black Friday online sales. They were selling them at a ridiculously reduced price, so I thought, why not? I'll get one, because I wanted to have one. But it gives the option, for example, of tethering to my phone, and anyone who I want to have track me or wants to track me can set up an account. There you go, on the company's website, and then in real time they can see on a screen exactly where I am on my bike ride at any given time. Now, if something happened to me, I think that it would take a long time to see that I'd stopped moving. I have one of these. Again, no commissions coming my way, but it's simply called a road ID. See if it'll focus on that. No, it's got some basic information about me. I ordered it. It's got my name, address, phone numbers for Rebecca, for home. It says that I'm O positive, says I have no allergies, it says that I'm an organ donor. There you are. That's as much technology as I need when I'm on my bike. Sounding a bit grumpy this morning, aren't I? I'm also tired of the request to fill in a survey every time I do anything. I'm not that bothered about telling some company that I had an extremely pleasant shopping experience buying some rechargeable toothbrush heads, or anything else for that matter. I can't be bothered. But you have to click it away often before you can even finish the purchase. Are you willing to do the survey? No, please don't do that. I have an email address amongst a couple of email addresses that is just set up for internet shopping, for accounts, for the kinds of things that are administration in my life that I tuck away in a corner. And it is begrudging nod at, I won't tell you the moniker, but my username is begrudging nod, because that's how it feels to have so much invasion of my life and my space taken up. You buy something, and sometimes you can't buy something without creating an account. You can stop getting emails from places you've bought things from who didn't ask you if you wanted the emails, but you can't delete your information. You can only tell them that they can't have you on their list to send emails to, but they keep your data. So how do you feel about, for the price of your relative liberty, having the government say to you in probably quite a short time, put an app on your phone and leave it running and leave your location services on, because together it's good for us to all know that someone is watching where we've been and who we've been near, and helping us to help ourselves and each other avoid dying or passing on what might be a benign illness for us to someone who might die. So, sounds like a bit of a moan this morning, and that's all that I'm about. Well, it isn't. Because one of the questions that's raised for me by this kind of conversation about privacy is, how much privacy is good for us? How much privacy is good for us? I'm not sure that as much privacy as we expect or are used to is actually good for us. And not in a technological sense, but in a relationship sense. Church is a very polite environment on the whole. Church is a place where people are, on the whole, really lovely. And I say that without any cynicism in my voice or in my heart. It is a place where people often are the best versions of themselves, consistently. But it is also meant to be a place of great rigor. Yeah? Church is not meant to be a comfortable place. It's not meant to be an easy place necessarily. It's meant to be welcoming. It's meant to be real. It's meant to be genuine. It's meant to be warm. But it's not meant to be easy all the time. Or even most of the time, perhaps. John and Charles Wesley, the founders of the Methodist movement within the Church of England that became the Methodist Church, started at university what they called the Holy Club. Now, I can imagine a group of very pious university students calling themselves the Holy Club. They had a set of 22 really severe questions that each of them was expected to use daily in their devotional life personally. Might show you those or reference those another time. You can go look them up. Holy Club questions with John Wesley attached. They make for a quite sobering read. But one of the things that the Wesleys did when they started their movement was they set up what they call class meetings. So groups of small individuals who held each other accountable in love, but with rigor. So held each other accountable, not for all the things they'd got wrong and the things that were bad about them, but in asking about the cracks and the faults in their lives and not avoiding that conversation. They created searingly honest and ultimately affirming communities of radical non-privacy, if that can be a thing. So every meeting had a number of questions, and the questions were imposed upon them, and they didn't have a choice as part of that. And maybe that's a good thing. But these were 5 of the questions at least. What sin have you committed since our last meeting? Now, again, we can wrestle with the word sin and what it meant then, what it means now, how we want to make use of it in a helpful way, in a way that doesn't make it too gentle, but in a way that doesn't make it too accusing or condemning. What sin have you committed since our last meeting? No waving a flag to pass the question by. What temptations have you met with? What temptations have you met with? And then allied to that, how were you delivered? How were you delivered? Now, not in the sense of satanic deliverance, from demons, but what helped you, if you managed to resist those things that you were tempted by, that you fundamentally somehow knew, even though they might be extremely pleasurable or extremely helpful in some way, were not going to be good for you or for some other human being. What tipped you over the edge into not indulging in those? What have you thought, said, or done of which you doubt whether it be sin or not? What have you thought, said, or done of which you doubt whether it be sin or not? So where are the kind of learning, growing edges in your understanding of what it means to be someone who follows Jesus in his radical social, political, and community-minded movement into the future? What does it? Where are the places where you're playing with that, where you're deciding that these rules or those rules do or don't really apply, or or maybe just categorizing the things we call sin? That's a really bad one, but this, not so much. And then the last question, which is a bit of a head scratcher: have you nothing you desire to keep secret? I think the answer is yes. I have nothing I desire to keep secret. I've heard it said or read somewhere, it was, we are as sick as we are secret. And our secrets are both the things that are our shortcuts through life, that we want not to reveal to other people, or our opinions or our thoughts or feelings that we secretly cling to, even though we know that they are not creative, or our shame. Our secrets can be the things in our past or in our present that shame us. They also talked about their finances. Give a rigorous account of what you've done with your money. It's not an easy environment to be in. I'm prattling on. Some of you say I don't prattle, that's fine. But I'm heading more and more towards 20 minutes, so I'm going to draw to a close. I will download a government tracking app and I will use it a little begrudgingly because it's part of a wider culture of invasive monitoring. I think the purposes for which it will be used are good. I have no doubt my data will be to somebody's benefit, financially or otherwise. But I think it will be a good thing. And the question for us this morning isn't perhaps whether we'll download the app and use it or not, because I don't think we'll have much choice. But I guess the question for you and for me, whether you're part of a church's life or a community group's life, an accountability group's life, don't know, just in your family even, who asks you the rigorous questions? Who and what permissions are there and people are there that are part of your life that invade your privacy helpfully? We all need those people. We need those people in our lives who are searingly honest, lovingly honest, but searingly honest. And we need together to shape communities of faith at least, and other kinds of communities as well, where we learn together to not be afraid of the rigor of tough questions about who we are and what we're about and how we live our lives and what's private and what isn't, and what's personal choice and what is of shared significance, so that it cannot be a private matter to just leave quietly in a corner, because it's so much easier to just chat about the weather and the generalities of our lives over tea, coffee and biscuits after church or in any other place. One of my hopes coming out of coronavirus is that we will be refreshingly honest in our sharing of ourselves and in our questioning of each other. And I mean questioning positively, in our inquiring, in our holding to account, in our urging each other on to the things we are not yet, all of that. I hope for that, I long for that, I will work for that. And if you're willing to be a partner with me in that, in at least the church's life, perhaps there's some room for a little bit of something that feels like a class meeting. That in all the good things we do in the home groups and other groups that meet, that turns a corner into not just a safe space, but a deeply challenging space. More than we do now. So I'll leave that with you. And whatever you want to do with all of the daily data that comes your way, that asks you to give permission to somebody else to know everything about you, but at the same time to essentially not know who you are. Bless you, and have a lovely day, and I'll be around again tomorrow.